So in 2022, I got a message from a bass player who's one of Sydney's top-notch session musicians. His name is Carl Mercado. He now is the bass player for Hamilton the musical.
Oh, wow.
But he's also played with big Australian artists, Jessica Mauboy and other big artists who've come through Australia. And this is also in 2022 when things were starting to open up for Australia again. So really prime time. They were really looking for people to get on this ship. And it was the first Princess cruise to get to Australia. So they're like, we need someone who can play on like a Lido deck, like the fun, jammy kind of sets for people. Would you like to jump on this cruise, play for like a week? I was like, all right, yeah, 100%. I'm available to do it. So yeah, and that's how it started. And then he called me again the year after to do the same, like the similar thing, like a 4-piece band. And the first cruise ship was just to a place called Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. It was going to near the Great Barrier Reef. So that's where the ship was going. And
oh, that's cool.
Yes,
yeah, how long was that contract?
Yeah, that contract was just a week. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you weren't doing like the month long, like the 6 months, 8 months, like out at sea, because I'm like, that's going to affect your music career and your networking.
Correct.
Not that there's not a ton of networking to do on the cruise ship. So while you were there a week, did you have to play every day, 2 sets a day? Like how rigorous?
So it was only 2 sets a day, one in the afternoon. And then the one to like 8 p.m. at night.
Oh, that's awesome. And you got the contract. Most people that come on the ships as a guest entertainer, they have to go through some training, that kind of stuff. Was there any of that stuff involved? Nothing.
None of that. It was just, all right, here.
That is amazing.
Get your pass, look at the safety information, and get ready to play. All the songs are like songs of the repertoire that you play on cover gigs and stuff like that. So we'd play everything from, your Ed Sheeran, and then you'd play the Police for the old timers, and you'd play Elvis tunes and Michael Jackson stuff, and everything.
I mean, a nice eclectic mix of music is pretty much what you hear on the cruise ships anyway.
Yes.
Did you play, you said the first time you played solo, and then the second time you were playing with a band.
Oh, no. The first time was with the band, a 4-piece band. And then
with the band.
And
okay, so you played with the band.
Yeah.
Was that your first cruise experience?
Yes, that was my first cruise experience, yes.
Okay, so how did you feel the difference of playing on a cruise ship versus playing a land gig?
Well, it's different because you're trying to tailor towards a different mixture of different audiences. It's the same kind of thing where you're tailoring towards different audiences, but people know that they're there for a gig. When you're there for a cruise ship, like you're there, it's like, okay, let's just try our best to entertain people, just in general. If they dance, then they dance. If they don't, then they don't, But you really do have to have that mindset of, okay, we need to make sure that our set is entertaining and people to stay engaged. For me, as a guitar player, like I needed to be physical in terms of my interaction with the band.
It's a show.
You like people. If you're dancing and grooving, then you got to make sure that you got to hang with the people and dance and groove as well.
We always say that cruise ships. We talk about this all the time. That musicians that get on cruise ships, it's such a great training ground if you don't have really good training on land, because you have to work. You have to work the crowd, like you said. You have to learn how to. All right, I got to make these people energized. So how am I going to do that? Where you're doing a bar gig, pretty much you get that same crowd as a local crowd or whatever. Correct. You get so many different people on a cruise ship that you're like, oh, this is kind of challenging.